Rob, a couple of days out from Northampton, the penultimate game of the schedule season, real excitement around the place.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I've written in my programme notes, this is a hugely exciting game. You know, we're fighting because we want to have a home Premiership semi-final. Northampton are fighting flat out. They can actually still mathematically get in the top 4, I think, and obviously they're going to be desperate to be in the top 6. You know, they're a regular Champions Cup side, and it'll mean an awful lot for them to make sure they remain in that competition. So it's going to be a very big game for both of us. We're going pretty well. We'd like to try and maintain some momentum. We'd obviously love to win and play well in front of our home crowd. And so for a lot of reasons, it's going to be a very exciting game.
When you reflect on the last performance, probably one of the standout performances of the year, isn't it?
In a lot of ways, I think it was, because obviously people were aware we picked up a few injuries going into the game. It was a short turnaround. Harlequins had their international players back, and I'd had them back for a couple of weeks, and they were all up and running, and were all available. And we were going away. They've only lost one game at home in the Premiership this season, and you could kind of feel it was going to be a tough old game. And we had a particularly tough game against Bristol. We had to carry the ball so much in that game that I know we expended an awful lot of energy in the game. And as I said, for the players on a short turnaround, and with new players coming in, and with a couple of different combinations to perform at the level they did, particularly against the Harlequins team who threw everything at us for 40-50 minutes, I thought was exceptional. And the first thing I said to the players after the game was I actually thought it was one of our standout overall team performances of the season. And obviously what really pleased me was that I think the level of the team performance we put in also allowed then some individual moments from a few players that really capped off the win for us. And so again, the players responded to exactly what we've asked them to do, which is to keep their future and their destiny in their own hands. At the moment, it is completely in our hands whether we get a home semi-final, and that's what we've got to go out and fight for again on Saturday.
And from the coaching perspective, Rob, it must be really pleasing that you can put guys seamlessly into a side like that, guys that hadn't played for a few weeks but just came in and really stepped up.
Obviously, it's massively pleasing for me, and I think, as I said, all of these things show the players in great credit, because ultimately the hardest thing to do in any sporting environment is to get on with things when you're not in the team. That's the hardest time for any sportsman, but ultimately that's when you have to work your hardest, because all of a sudden an opportunity arrives, and you've got to take it with two hands. And there's no doubt that some of the players who came into the team against Harlequins gave themselves a great opportunity to potentially be there in a semi-final and a final, and that's what you have to be ready for as a squad player, is to be saying, right, well, I might not be playing this week, but the work I do this week is what holds me in good stead to put in a good performance when my opportunity arises. And as I say, I think they all deserve great credit for that.
And those who get the jersey this weekend, Northampton, from past experience, tough test, but home advantage, you've got to make the most of it.
Well, we've got to hope so. Obviously, analysing their last 3 games, they've been real heartbreakers for them. They've played very, very well. And it seems strange. We've won our last 6 games, and obviously everything would have seen that form and momentum is with us. But if you actually look at their last 3 performances and the way the games have been lost so late on, you've actually got to say that they're on pretty good form. They're on pretty good form in every way other than the scoreboard at the moment, and that makes them a tough challenge. But again, we do seem to be knocking challenges off one at a time at the moment. The attitude of the players has been fantastic, and as I say, I keep asking them to be excited about this stage of the season and not worrying too much about things slipping away, but to go out and just make sure you take things with 2 hands and you make it about yourself. And if we do that, we give ourselves a great opportunity to do well in the game.
We haven't spoken to you much since the news of Jack Noel in the Lions squad and the 4 boys in the England squad. How excited are you by that as well? Oh, I mean,
it's fantastic, wasn't it? As I said in the press, the moment when Jack got announced in the Lions squad is a moment I'll never forget. Really, it's one of those moments you always want as a head coach. We were lucky enough to be watching it live, and we had it on in the coach's office, and the players had it on in the players' room. And like I say, to hear the way the players celebrated with Jack when he was announced, that's kind of what you want to see. That's what a team's all about. You can't buy it. That's what a team's all about. For them to be so thrilled and excited for Jack was absolutely fantastic. And I think for our England selections, as much as I think we would all expect Henry and Luke to be going on it because they're senior EPS members, we've got to be delighted for Harry Williams and Jack Maunder, because without doubt it's the form they're showing playing for us that's given them a great opportunity. At this stage, young uncapped players going to Argentina, great opportunity to represent their country. It's just fantastic news for us as a club.
Are you frustrated maybe make the plane as well?
If I'm honest with you, not really, because I think you've got to, and we've spoken to a couple of members of the England management. You've got to appreciate what they're looking for in that squad, and you've got one group who are, already recognised senior EPS squad players and full internationals, and then a group of young players who are future project players, really. Obviously, I think a lot of our guys drop into the middle ground, which is the lads who went on the Saxons tour, so your Mitch Lees, Don Armands, Ollie Woodburn nearly got a call up, Sam Hill, Dave Ewers. I think they drop into the middle ground, where I think their next role is to become full senior EPS squad players. That's the way they're going to try and work their way into international rugby. They're not going to go on this tour as potential project players, a little bit perhaps like maybe Jack and Harry are to a degree, and some of the other young players you've seen from other Premiership clubs. Their role will be to develop their game in a slightly different way, and so I can fully understand why some of our guys have been passed over, but you can see there's some very good players at other clubs who are in exactly the same boat. So I think it's all been about what Eddie Jones wants to get out of this squad, and I can fully understand what he's aiming to get out of it.